Salam Aleikum. Welcome back to another video. Just wanted to prefix, just make a statement here. Salam Alaikum just means peace be upon you. So I'm just giving you a greeting. Today's video is going to be about why you need to improve your relationship with yourself. I actually think that this is probably one of the most important things that you should think about doing or attempting to do. You spend most days literally with yourself. You might spend time with coworkers, family, loved ones, whoever it might be, but yeah, you're spending time with yourself most times of the day. And if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, it can definitely be something that it's not the best experience. For me, I would say at one point I really didn't like myself, right? I had that type of really judgmental, self-judgment kind of perspective. Anything that I had done, I kind of really, wanted to find any way I could blame myself for that situation. Some might say I didn't like myself, and that is true. You either love yourself or you don't, right? And it's hard to really pinpoint what it looks like to love yourself sometimes. But I would say an example will be working out, because if you work out, you're doing something for yourself, right? You're physically being active. If you read, that is for yourself, right? If you write, that is for yourself. If you're doing something creative like an art, you could be creating something like a business. It could be whatever. It could be like right now what I'm doing, creating content, right? Where technically I'm doing it for myself, but I'm also doing it for the viewer who might be able to extract some sort of knowledge that I'm trying to give, right? And I'm telling you, you will never regret fixing and enhancing your relationship with yourself, because from that, everything else kind of works around it. Because remember, it's you and then the world, right? It's not the world and then you, right? And it's not a selfish thing that I'm trying to explain here. It's literally reality. You are in your own body, so you must, you should really deal with yourself first before you go out and deal with anybody else, right? So fixing your relationship with yourself is very important. I would say you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with your strengths, with your weaknesses, and also you probably shouldn't judge yourself as hard as you might be. We do live in a society where everybody is kind of like under a microscope, where it's like everything you do is criticized, is placed in a specific box for others to critique. It just is a very strange time that we live in. And again, I think a part of loving yourself and building this relationship with yourself is having a stronger mind. And that also comes from, understanding, hey, I might take things more personally than another. So if someone were to give me advice, I do have to kind of step back and detach from that situation, kind of assess it as it really is, not what I'm perceiving it to be, right? Because, someone might give me advice, right? Like, Mansoor, you need to change the way you speak to someone. In that moment, if I was really, in my feelings, I might say, like, why are they saying it to me? But if I step back, I'd be like, okay, I think I may have been disrespectful in one scenario to one person. And this person is simply coming over here to explain to me, you need to change the way you approach conversations with people. So yeah, I would say stepping back, taking that, kind of moment to think and be like, okay, this is what they're really saying, because the way you perceive something might not actually be the reality of the situation. That's a scary point that I've had to really, kind of get through. I'm someone that I take criticism, I take it on the chin, and I actually encourage people to criticize me. I encourage people to give me that type of explanation, like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and I'm welcoming of it, because at the end of the day, I think it's all for your benefit, even if it's unwarranted criticism, even if it's not even founded, like it's founded on nothing. Someone might just be criticizing you, but your ability to take criticism even where it's not warranted is actually a sign of strength, because you kind of sit there and be like, this person is just, they're just, I think that they're trying to just get a rile out of me, right? They're trying to get a rise out of me. They're trying to get me angry, pissed off. My ability to control myself in that moment and just listen to what they have to say instead of reacting and defending myself, because I know I don't have to defend myself, right? That's when you really have that great relationship with yourself, where it's like, what's going on with you. Whatever this person is trying to bring up, it's a bunch of nonsense, right? And look, I'm gonna be real. Not all criticism is criticism you should take and try and fix. Some criticism, yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense. I'm gonna be real with you guys. And the older I've gotten, the more I've noticed this. And the older I get, the more I will notice this. Like, it is pretty funny, because I'm glad I'm getting older. Because, when I was younger, I would be quicker to getting a reaction, to give a reaction to certain situation. But now, I'm on the other side of it. I'm more so, yeah, I mean, I may have messed up there. I could take that. My ego is definitely in check, compared to when I was younger. Like, man, I was, you know what I'm saying, know-it-all kind of type of person. But now I've kind of, taken that step back, really, because it's like, yo, you don't know everything. You really don't. And that's the beauty of life. You don't need to act like you know everything. Now we have all this LARPing stuff, right? I'm getting sidetracked, but, yeah. And in that, building that relationship with yourself is also being honest about what you don't know and what you're not good at, right? Asking for help, right? Going out and seeking that type of advice from a figure that you feel like is trustable, right? It's very important to go in every facet. Like, let's say you like going to the gym, right? That's fixing, that's building that relationship because you're building consistency, you're building discipline, and you're building a mental framework where it's like, I want to do hard things, which is going to benefit me in the long run physically for my health, right? And then it also translates to your mental health. So these things are very important for people to be able to actually kind of hone in on. So an example of, if you go to the gym, you might want to go and ask someone how to do a squat. Like, for instance, literally a simple motion like a squat, because your form might not be correct and you might not be able to get, the most, you might not be able to maximize the workout, for instance. I'm a very leg dominant person. Like, I play football, soccer. So my squats are very important. So I asked someone, yo, let me know. My squat's looking a little bit, shaky right now. I don't look like I'm doing it, right enough. So, let me know. They give me the game, I listen, and then I implement it. And again, I think this honesty thing is very important. You got to be honest with yourself. Some days I don't feel like it. Some days I don't feel like doing anything. And being honest is very important, because, again, you could force yourself to do stuff. But if you really don't feel like doing something, that might be your body telling you something, right? Like, whatever, it's a rest day. And then in terms of schooling, like, bro, some days I didn't want to study because I'm just graduating now, and I've gone through the memories of, like, some days I didn't want to study for. I remember it was an exam. I didn't want to study for an exam. I didn't study for it. I still managed to pass the class. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. But yeah, listen to yourself, because when you do build this relationship and fix this relationship with yourself, you actually manage to learn more of yourself, and yeah, I mean, you're more in tune with who you are, and I'd say that that's a very important thing. But yeah, fix and build this relationship with yourself. It's going to be one of the most enjoyable experiences, and you will gain so much from this. So yeah, I hope you got some great piece of knowledge, and let me know what you guys think. Take care.